So I've been using the Digitakt 2 for probably 2 or 3 weeks now, and I've been really enjoying the workflow. It's very quickly becoming one of my favorite devices to use to make music. It has some limitations for sure, but those can be augmented with some of the other gear I already have, which is great. And generally, it feels like part of this new wave of music devices that does feel like a generational shift, similar to something like the Ableton Push, although certainly different in price and capability. It feels like this big upgrade over the type of gear we had 5-10 years ago, especially with the 16 audio tracks, the stereo sampling, the much larger internal storage and project storage. Again, it's in a little bit of an apples and oranges comparison to, say, Digitakt 2, Ableton Push 3, any of the MPCs or the machine, right? Like, those are a little bit more DAW in a box, whereas the Digitakt is Groovebox. But at the same time, I do feel like all of these devices are giving more and more tools and more power to people who want to make music without necessarily having to be a computer throughout the entire or any of the process. So today what I'm going to do is make a track from scratch on the Digitakt 2. I have not put any work into this project yet, so it could be terrible, it could be great, I hope it's good, but that's what we're gonna do. Before I begin, I wanna give a huge thank you to everyone who's liked and subscribed to the channel. This month has been really great for the channel. I think I looked at the studio app today and I had 777 new subscribers in the last 28 days, which is insane. So if you're one of those, thank you so much. I genuinely appreciate it. And to everyone who's been checking out my music, my album, There's Something Better, on all the streaming services or Bandcamp, that'll be linked. It means so much to see the audience for that growing too. I've got another album on the way that I'm working on. Hopefully it'll be out this year. Some great cover art, some great overall production that uses a lot of the gear you've seen on this channel. I'm excited to tell you more about that. But for now, let's make a new track from scratch. Probably just a beat, but we'll see what we add to it. So the primary devices I'm gonna use in this video are the Digitakt 2, as I mentioned, and then for synthesis and sound generation, outside of samples that I already have on the Digitakt, I'm gonna be using the AstroLab. Both of these devices were provided by Zounds, not the manufacturers themselves, so thank you so much to Zounds for sending these over. The current state of the channel would basically not be possible without them. They don't even ask me to shout them out, although I do think I need to federally, so thank you to Zounds for sending those over. And if you are interested in any of this gear, I do have Zounds links. I get a pretty good percentage back if you use those, so if you're already thinking about buying them new, that's an awesome way to do it. But if you've got a cheaper, better alternative way, or if you're not looking to buy new gear at all and you're just wanting to enjoy the show, I'm really glad you're here. All right, now let's get started. I hope you'll forgive the AstroLab being out of frame, but I do want to show you more of what I'm doing on the Digitakt, since I'll just be playing keyboard and going between different presets on the AstroLab. So this is a brand new project with its own brand new sample pool. So one of the first things I'm going to do is go to Mixer and hit this a few times to turn up the line in so that we can hear the AstroLab. That's the AstroLab into the project, or into the Digitakt. And you can hear that as stereo. I think the line in may have been stereo on the Digitakt 1, but when I sample this in, the samples will stay in stereo, which is great. Okay, we'll get back to the Digitakt later. These are the default samples that are on the Digitakt 2 when you load a project up. I'm not using any of these, I think, so let's start by finding some kind of motif. Right now I'm looking only at pianos. Let's look at keys on the AstroLab. This is a Pigments preset called Reverse Box. Let's set a tempo for the track. Actually, I'm gonna go doot, 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 and that is 108. And then on the AstroLab, I'm also going to set the tempo to 108, just in case that has any sort of impact on the playback of any of the presets. Sometimes they are synced to the tempo. All right, we're going to just record something random. Here we go. Cool. All right, so we're gonna trim the sample. It sounds like it has a little dead space at first, but we can hear that stereo, which is awesome. We're clipping a little, so I'm gonna zoom in here. And there we go. Zoom out, hit yes to save, hit this cog to auto name it, the settings button. Save, and we're gonna assign it to pad 9. Okay. Right now, this is just playing back what I recorded, but let's change the machine to a grid machine and go into keyboard mode. Let's change the grid to 16ths. Let's add a little bit of attack. Okay, so I've tuned it down a little bit. It's in 16 grids, or 16 notes split across a grid. Oh my god, that's so beautiful. Oh my god. Can you see the goosebumps I'm getting? Tell me no. You said wouldn't go. That's beautiful. Okay, cool. So we're gonna hold, we've gone into page here. We're gonna hold function and rotate E until it's 128, giving us essentially 8 bars. And that's it. Okay, so. Okay, we're gonna want a metronome. That's probably close to the tempo I want. But let's make that 122. Turn the metronome on, turn pre-roll to 1 bar. So now when we have the metronome on and we record, we can live record in with a pre-roll click, which is, or like a count in, which is very helpful. Okay. Uh-oh, I know what happened. Do you know what happened? I wasn't in keyboard mode. Whoops. Try that again. Whoa, what's happening? Why is that happening? There we go. This is unquantized. I'm going to quantize it a little bit. One of those last. Oh yeah, there we go. Oh, and the first one actually, that's worth noting. The first hit starts off grid, so there we go. I think this one starts too early. That's really close. For now, that'll be good enough. All right, let's figure out what we're doing next. Find a bass maybe. I don't really want a bass loop. I think I could turn this loop into a bass note that I want to use though. I may have created a problem where I tuned it out of tune with like everything else I'm playing. Yeah, okay. Let's tune this a little bit. right, let's find a different bass, I think. Maybe a factory bass. That could work. That could work. Those could work. Let's load all those. Give them a shot. So I'm changing the release on the filter and the amp just to make it less clicky here. Okay, I hate all of that. So instead of doing any of that, let's get a drum loop, because otherwise I feel like I'm losing my mind. All right, Sunshine Vibes is no guitar, or sorry, no bass, no drums. I'm losing my mind. There we go. The count. All right, let's try it. Load all those into the project. Change the machine to stretch. I already like how weird that sounds, but that's not usually how I wouldn't usually just drag and drop a loop. Okay, so what I've done here is I've made it a stretch machine, set to 4 bars, and then I've added some chorus, a little bit of overdrive, bit reduction, sample rate reduction, and delay. And then on the filter, I've taken some of the top end out and some of the bottom end out with the bass width filter. And I think if I play it once every 4 bars, it actually sounds kind of good. Normally, again, I don't know, what if I tune it weird? Yeah, screw it. Okay, metronome on so we get the count in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Also, we need to change the BPM again on the AstroLab to match the new BPM of the project, which is now 122. Okay, I think I'm gonna just sample this note in. There we go. And shorten it. Here we go. Shorten the other side. Yeah. Auto name contractual. We'll add bass. Yes. And we're gonna send that to 10 actually, because that's where we had the other bass. Although that's gonna carry over all the effects I already added. So let's turn those off. Okay. think I've got it. Okay, battery's gonna die, so we're gonna swap that out and see if we can add some more. Okay, so now we have our sample chop, a drum loop, and a bass. Oh, that first bass note is microtoned off. Here we go. I'm not in love with this bass, so I wanna mess with the effects. I'm gonna record that even though I'm not like super sold on it. The way I'm gonna do that is turn the threshold up here on recording. All right, and then I'm going to arm it and let this play. And when I start playing along, it'll start recording a sample. Cool. So as is, I should be able to just drop this into a track and play it over the whole thing. So we're gonna hit yes to save, contented flop. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about this beat. No, I'm just kidding. Well, maybe. And save, and we're gonna save it to 12. Or assign it to 12 rather. All right. So now I'm just gonna turn metronome back on. Actually, there should be a way to just, I'm actually curious about this. Maybe I shouldn't live record this. Get out of the metronome page, turn metronome off. Oh, that's not where I want that. I want this right here. Does that work? Oh no, wait. Is it muted? It was muted that whole time. It was because it was muted, huh? I bet. If I delete that and then put it in, and then change the length to 128. Does that just work? I bet it does. Yep. Okay, that was it. I had the thing muted. Embarrassing, but that's fine. That's because I held function, I bet, and must have hit the pad at some point. All right, let's filter this a little bit. And let's send the filter frequency to LFO1, or LFO1 to the filter frequency rather. Man, I'm not sure this is even good. Apologies if this is whack. But we're gonna just keep going until we have something that feels like a good beat loop, so apologies. Let's get some R&B soul drum hits. Actually, yeah. Yeah, that that works. Yeah. All right, that should work. Okay. That should work. There we go. So for some of these, I'm gonna have them go to the effects heavy, so like a lot of reverb and it just, yeah, so I just sent this step on the 8th bar here to delay, reverb, overdrive, and bit reduction. I do the same thing on this one. This one, of course, too. All right. This one's kind of boring, so I'm gonna put an LFO on the filter, on the frequency, and just see if I like that. I actually like that default sample, but that's not what we're gonna use. Sample rate reduction on this. Bit reduction. All right. Yeah, I don't know if I hate that. I think the first one of those sounds better. Yeah, this one starts a little too late. There we go. Two-door cinema club. Okay, the last element I'm going to do, I think, is sample in just this note into the Digitakt. So let's get our shot right here. Ooh. There you go. One last bit. All right. Okay, gonna trim the beginning. Great. Auto name, clownish cathode, sure. And we're gonna assign it to 15, why not? This is all over the place. I should really develop a system for organizing which samples are where, but okay. So we're gonna send this to delay. No, we're not. We're gonna send this to reverb. Yeah, chorus. Yes, bit reduction. A little bit, overdrive. A little bit, sample rate reduction. Sure. Lower the volume. I'm gonna try to make this a stretch machine and see how bad that sounds. Sounds really bad, yeah. I don't think that's what this is made for. That's okay, we're gonna make this a one shot, which sounds fine. Okay, so the downside of sampling that versus sampling in like a motif or playing a whole thing is polyphony of notes. I'm actually probably just gonna play something and sample it in. I'm actually not even sold on that string sound. Okay, I'll try that. I don't hate that. Oh, you know what, actually? Let's do the record length thing, and I wonder if I can pre-record a sample recording. I bet not. But can I have the metronome going? No? Okay. Shit. Okay. Maybe that's a problem for another time. Okay, yeah, never mind. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was interesting. I hope you learned a little bit, or at least enjoyed the process. A little bit all over the place, but I had fun, and it's fun to dive into some gear and start to understand it more. So I'm gonna play a little bit. Let's zoom out, get the whole frame going, and hope you have a great week ahead. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.